Hello, my name is Dr. Kate, licensed couples therapist. What you are about to watch is a simulated role-play session created for educational and training purposes only. These characters do not represent any real individuals, and any resemblance to actual persons or events is purely coincidental. This is not a substitute for professional psychological support. Today we begin with a moment that many marriages fear, but very few know how to face. A moment that does not arrive suddenly, but grows slowly like a shadow creeping into the corners of a home that once felt full of light. A moment where the silence has grown louder than words, and the distance between two people who once promised forever feels like an ocean you can no longer cross. The sentence that brings us here is simple, but devastating. My wife wants out of the marriage. It is a sentence that breaks something inside the person hearing it. Not always anger, often disbelief, often confusion, often fear. When someone says they want out, it is rarely because they woke up one morning and stopped loving. It is because something inside them has been dying quietly for years, without language, without rescue, without acknowledgement. And when the pain becomes stronger than the hope, leaving feels like the only remaining act of survival. But today is not about blame. Today is about truth. And truth is the only thing that can rebuild something real, if rebuilding is still possible. It takes tremendous courage to sit in a room like this, to speak openly, to confess wounds instead of hiding them. Many couples never reach this point because fear wins long before honesty appears. But both of you are here. That alone means something. We begin by allowing each person to speak without interruption, without defense, without correction. We do not argue facts here. We explore feelings. We do not debate who is right. We uncover what is real. The purpose of this first session is simple: to hear what has never truly been spoken, and to recognize the moment the marriage shifted from connection to separation. I will start with Jim. I want you to speak not as someone trying to persuade your wife to stay, and not as someone trying to prove that you were right or misunderstood. I want you to speak as a human being who is afraid of losing the person he loves. What do you feel right now? Not the polished answer, not the safe answer, the real one. What is happening inside you at this moment, knowing the woman you built a life with believes this marriage may be over? Jim, the floor is yours.
I don't know how to begin this without sounding like a man begging for something he already lost. I'm trying to hold myself together, but inside I feel like I'm falling apart and there's nothing to grab onto. When she said she wanted out, it was like the ground dropped out beneath me. It wasn't anger. It wasn't even confusion. It was something deeper, something heavy, like someone reached inside my chest and pulled out everything that used to make me feel safe. I keep replaying that moment. The way she stood there, the way her voice didn't shake, the way she looked at me like a stranger. I think that was the part that hurt the most. Not the words, the emptiness in her face. It was like she had already left, long before she said it out loud, and I never noticed. Or maybe I noticed pieces, but I told myself it was just temporary, that things would go back to normal. They didn't. I feel like I failed her, but I don't even know the exact moment when it happened. I look back at our life and I see good moments. I see laughter. I see the way she used to look at me with so much light in her eyes. I remember mornings where she would wrap her arms around me like she couldn't imagine beginning her day any other way. I remember nights when we stayed awake talking about nothing and everything, dreaming about our future. And now we barely speak, and when we do, it feels like every word is a negotiation, or a battle, or a reminder of everything I should have done differently. I didn't know silence could be a warning sign. I thought silence meant peace, not surrender. I thought routine meant stability, not emotional starvation. I thought us getting older together meant comfort, not distance. I thought love could sustain itself if you just remained loyal and present. But somewhere along the way, loyalty became the bare minimum instead of the foundation. And I didn't see the difference. I thought showing up was enough. I thought staying meant loving. I thought time together was proof of connection. I didn't realize that love dies quietly when it is not fed. I know I hurt her, not through big betrayals or cruel words, but through absence. Through thinking she was strong enough to carry everything without needing help. Through assuming that because she didn't complain, she was fine. Through thinking that solving problems meant fixing material things, when really the problems were emotional things I never learned how to hold. I was raised to believe that a good man works hard, provides, keeps things stable, and I thought that was love. I didn't realize love also means presence, softness, attention, choosing each other every day, not just being in the same room. I thought loyalty was enough. I thought that because I never stopped loving her, that meant she could still feel loved. I was wrong. When she said she wanted out, something inside me woke up. But it woke up too late. I want to fight. I want to fix this. I want to show her the man she married. I want to build a new version of us, stronger than before. But I don't know if she wants to fight anymore. I don't know if she even believes I can change. I don't know if she is already gone in her heart. I'm terrified. Terrified of losing her. Terrified of waking up one day in an empty house where her laughter is gone, where her voice doesn't echo in the rooms, where the life we built becomes a memory instead of something real. I don't want to lose my wife. I don't want to become a chapter she closes. I don't want our family to fracture. I don't want to say goodbye to the only person I've ever truly loved. I love her. I love her with everything I have. And I am here because I don't want to quit. I want another chance, even if I have to rebuild myself completely, even if it takes time. I am not giving up, unless she tells me there is truly nothing left to save.
I never wanted to hurt him. I never wanted to be the person who says she wants out of her marriage. I never imagined myself standing here saying these words, but I reached a point where staying felt like slowly drowning while pretending to breathe normally. I reached a point where silence became unbearable, where hope felt like a punishment, where pretending felt like a betrayal to myself. For a long time, I felt alone in this marriage, not physically, emotionally. I felt like I was carrying everything, every responsibility, every emotional burden, every decision, every piece of invisible labor that makes a relationship work. I wasn't his partner anymore. I was his support system. I was the structure, not the person inside it. And the worst part was that I kept waiting for him to notice. And he never did. Or if he did, he convinced himself it wasn't serious.
I tried to speak. I tried to ask for help. I tried to say what I needed, but every time I did, I felt unheard. Not ignored, just unheard. The words fell into empty space and nothing changed. And every time nothing changed, a piece of me disappeared. It wasn't one moment. It was 1,000 small moments where I felt invisible. When you feel like you don't matter emotionally, something inside you begins to shut down to survive. I started to feel like I was disappearing inside my own life, like I was fading out of a picture I was supposed to be centered in. I felt like we were living parallel lives instead of shared ones. We stopped laughing together. We stopped touching. We stopped dreaming together. Everything became routine, mechanical, predictable. I was starving emotionally, and I kept telling myself it would pass, but it didn't. It got worse. And eventually I stopped trying because trying began to feel humiliating.
I don't hate him. I don't think he's a bad man. He is a good man. He is reliable, responsible, loyal. But I don't feel like his wife anymore. I feel like his roommate, his partner in logistics, not his partner in love. And I cannot keep living in a marriage where I feel unseen, untouched, and unheard. I cannot carry both of us anymore. I am exhausted. I am empty. And when I look at him now, I feel sadness instead of connection, distance instead of closeness, resignation instead of hope. I love him as a man. But I don't know if I love him as a husband anymore. And saying that out loud feels like admitting defeat. After years of silent fighting, I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of surviving something that is supposed to give life. I don't want to feel numb in a marriage that once felt like oxygen. And I don't know if there's anything left to save, or if I'm just holding on to memories instead of reality.
What we have heard today is the emotional core of many marriages that reach the edge of ending. Not rage, not betrayal, not dramatic destruction. Quiet heartbreak, slow erosion. A man who thought presence was enough, and a woman who carried more than she could hold until the weight crushed her. A man who woke up too late, and a woman who stopped believing change was possible. Both grieving, both wounded, both terrified in different ways. This is not the end. This is the beginning of understanding. Today we did not fix anything. Today we opened the truth, peeled away the silence, and placed the pain in the center of the room where it can finally be seen. There is still love here, but love alone is not enough. Love must be rebuilt through action, not memory, through presence, not routine, through listening, not assuming. In our next session, we will go back to the beginning, before the wounds and the distance, to remember who you were when you chose each other. Because sometimes the first step in rebuilding a marriage is rediscovering the origin of the bond that once felt unbreakable. Our next episode is First Meeting, the day it all began.